fun. 4 minutes is nothing.
It's fantastic. Oh, now it's 5. We got to throw it all out. Oh, Jesus.
Well, it's a waste. We might as well
Well,
keep it.
it's been good.
Go home.
We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. I still can't see the chat. That's super cool. I'm just gonna delete it.
Is Hell still in here? Is she showing up on our reactive?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Let Hell know that I'm going to join the TikTok, but just for a second, and I will not watch. So I'm not cheating.
Guest star Hell this week.
Hell, get out of the thing. Actually, there's one other thing I have to add while we're doing these things real quick. So you guys chat for 1 sec for me.
Chat amongst ourselves.
Oh, no, you know what? No, I did it already. I did it.
Oh,
Say,
damn.
Say.
No more chatter.
No more nobody's allowed to talk
I know
anymore.
he's here. I don't know. I'm sharing the live.
If any, I hope somebody say something in the chat for us. I can see if it's working on the screen. That would be great if it worked on the screen.
The YouTube or
I'm
the
assuming
got
it's
a
talking
loud.
to people
YouTube.
watching
I
us,
was gonna
not
say,
us.
excuse me, the
Yeah, no, I mean,
dungeon master said
somebody's-
no.
Not like Hell.
You
or
didn't say
somebody.
Simon Says before. We can't do it.
Hell and I both just said something in YouTube.
Oh, okay,
I'm
I
out
can
of
see
it
it.
now.
All right, so the YouTube is, I can see it on the left. I just can't add it as a box for some reason. Just, I guess, fine, whatever.
I saw that OBS was not giving me that option either.
It's really weird. Anyway, that's not a big deal. Oh, wait, maybe it is. Maybe I can fix it.
Maybe it is a big deal.
Haha, I did fix it.
Hey!
All I
I
had to do
love
was
whatever you
restart
built.
chat.
I love whatever you built this map in, and I'm like, oh god, I don't know, because I'm like, it could be an iPad thing, because I know that like there's like Daniel Map elements that you can use, and they've got really cool stuff on for the iPad or Procreate and stuff, and I'm like, is it that? Is it what? Because yeah.
I
Sorry.
did not. No, you're fine. I did not make this. This is from a.
I'm not going to shame you.
No, you're fine. This is actually a combination of a couple of map systems that I've used that are like open source stuff and things like that I really like. And so I've combined for the early part. I'll actually build a lot of the maps in the future, but for the early part, it's all just like simple. It's simple.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get
standard
it.
maps.
I do like that Roll20 does have also like interactive token elements, so you can have like magic circles that move and stuff, and like flames that move and stuff.
Yeah, it is really
Fancy.
cool.
I have a question for Ethan at the top of session 3 here. How many sessions did you expect us to spend inside the well for undertaking this trial?
Good question.
I mentioned
Is it at
to a
least 5
couple
more?
of you. I mentioned to a couple of you that I thought you would take maybe. I said you would be a sprint up to level 3, and that you would be level 3 by the time you exited the well. I expected it to be done by session 2.
Instead, it's a limp up to session.
And
just
then we spent an
overachievers.
hour trying to decide what door to go through.
Right.
Yeah,
Classic
and,
D&D.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty standard D&D stuff. We get into that sometimes. It happens. It's all right.
I mean, it
well,
wouldn't
you
be
gave us
D&D
choices.
if we didn't have problems with doors.
right.
So many
right.
choices. I still want to go stuff rubies in that damn scepter.
Yeah.
Oh,
like-
we're going to bring it out and do it.
You have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
Red
of
Bulb's
which,
got it.
while you're looking at this map, can all of you put yourselves inside this circle? Because each of I know you don't technically fit. You're gonna have to squeeze together. But Raziel, as he came down, hit the ground, and
Make a
the
little room.
like circle lit up. And so at the beginning of this, you guys would all be clumped down here, and we'll talk about what is going to happen here in a minute. But first, we have to do our introductions.
sounds
and everything
ominous.
else.
Oh, dear God.
Oh yeah, we've got to
so-
do the intro thing that we're supposed to do.
we got to do all of our intro stuff. So, hi everybody,
people don't know
welcome
we
to
are,
Punch and Roll for Initiative, a nerdy and dirty D&D podcast made up of audiobook narrators and intended for adults. So, maybe wear headphones for this one. Hi, I'm your Dungeon Master, Ethan Gray. I am known for a bunch of different audiobooks, audio dramas, and I used to do anime stuff, but I want to talk more about our cast. So let's jump into, and I'm going to use your character names, but introduce yourself, what you're working on, who you are. Beryl, please.
Oh, shit. Me first this time.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm Zach Rosenfeld. I play Beryl Steelhammer. I'm working on the Legends of Pangaea series. It's like a sci-fi fantasy series. The first book is out called The Tyrant's Daughter, and I'm just wrapping up post-production on the sequel, Prince of Paradise. I'm also the narrator on the Perceptions Above and Beyond audio drama.
All
And
right.
that's enough for today.
I'm going basically right to left. So, Emmy, Amadia, you are next.
Oh God, this is new. So I am Tegan Burke. I play Amania Emmy Demira, our resident celestial warlock. But at the moment, I have been working on Lifespan of Starlight by Talia Kaukipsakis. I'm about to start Beyond Tomorrow by Tammy Weiss. And I too work on Perceptions Above and Beyond in various roles, but namely as Stacey Grant, Harper Davis, and also Hannah Grant. So yeah.
Yay. Up next, I
Yay.
have Redvold.
Hi. So, I'm Aaron Smith. I am playing Redvold Rourke, the old barbarian fella. And when I'm not playing D&D, I am working on the Shadowcasters series, which is a young adult fantasy series that is basically what if Pokemon, but you summon them through shadow puppetry. It's great fun, wonderful series. Book 1 is already out. I'm about to start book 2 in the next couple days.
Yay. Next up,
Yay.
we have Raziel. Raziel. I keep doing it wrong. It's Ra-
You're fine. I'm Rhodey. I'm playing Raziel or Raz. I am also involved in the Perceptions Above and Beyond as Malcolm Hardy or Yes Ma'am. But I also edit and will be working on a new project here soon, hopefully. And I edit our podcast, so that way you guys can hear this in a less ums and gaps in there, just a little smoother. And mostly my stuff that I cut out. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Kaida.
Hi, I'm Marie Mitchell. I voice many webcomics and I love to narrate a good rom-com. I'm about to start another one next week. I play Kaida, and I'm either gonna punch a god or murder a statue in this episode, so stay tuned to find out.
Iris.
Hello, I am Cleo Birch. I play Iris McGugan. And myself, I am working on Whispers of Apple Blossoms. It is set to release sometime March or April, and it is essentially the love story of The Notebook meets Little Shop of Horrors, with a paranormal slice of life romance book coming out sometime soon, hopefully. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. I'm going to turn on some atmospheric music that I think only you guys will be able to hear. Ooh, that's too loud.
Oh,
turn
girl.
that down a little
Not
bit.
loving it.
It's a little too loud, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit. All
Very
right.
atmosphere, very
Gregorian monks
demure, very
chanting.
mindful.
I think everything's gonna be fine, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're about to be sacrificed.
Not like we're standing in
totally.
a strange
Not
circle.
ominous at all.
With 4 new friends.
As a reminder from last time, you, the Well Divers, are new initiates into the program. Your final test has been to go down into the well. This is the first time they've ever tested initiates this way. And so you have been asked to come down here. You had grabbed all of the material. Does everyone have a material that you would need in order to pass the test? I just want to double check inventory real quick. Is anybody missing? Let me ask the other way around. Is anybody missing one?
Let me have a look.
I have a gem or one of the rubies.
Yeah, I've got
so I
got
should
some
be
of
Yeah, I
that.
got a
mushroom
ruby
and a
too.
ruby.
Okay, all right. So with that in mind, each of you have most likely what you've been asked to come down here and get, but you've been hearing crying, begging, screaming, all kinds of noises coming from a hole that kept opening up when the hup mushrooms would come in and try to attack you.
Hop mushrooms.
You found a golden scepter that seems like it might fit those rubies. You created a quick zipline rope down into this room, and as you ziplined your way down into this stone cavernous kind of space that seems to very clearly be like worked checkered flooring made of stone, you look around, and as soon as Raziel's feet touch the ground, the symbol on the floor around you, which was just kind of a dull color of red, like a maroonish. As soon as you step into it, lights up, and you see the letters all the way around it begin to scrawl and spell out arcane symbols. And you see it just go, and it lights up. And as it did that, each of these dwarven statues, the 4 of them in each corner, picked up their weapons and held them at the ready, looking directly at your party. What would you guys like to do?
Pick up my weapon and be at the ready.
Yeah.
Can I read any of these arcane symbols?
Roll an Arcana check.
Hell yeah, I've got expertise in that shit now.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
What did I
Ooh,
roll?
Okay.
I'll look it up.
19.
Nice.
19.
With a 19, you are looking it over and you see the symbols are not in a language that you know, I don't think, at least. Can you ping your languages still with this type of character sheet?
Let's see. I can at least tell you that I speak Common, Dwarvish, and Giant. They don't seem to want to ping.
Okay. The scrawling runes around this are in none of those languages. And as you're looking at them, you pretty quickly recognize some of the connecting symbols between the phrases. Although you don't know what the phrases exactly say, it's very clear that this is some kind of conjuration magic. There's an abjuration connection to a conjuration effect. And with a 19, I'm going to give you one other thing. It seems like whatever the trigger is for this circle, it is not stepping into it, it is stepping out of it.
I will communicate that to everybody kind of as soon as I come to recognize that. Like, we seem to have activated something, but it's not going to trigger until we step out of it.
Does it say exactly what to do to get out of it or how to undo it?
I feel like that's obvious. It's a cuddle puddle.
As lovely as that is, does it imply that up is exiting the circle? Or is it more crossing the barrier of the threshold?
Well, considering that coming straight down activated it, going straight up might constitute leaving it.
Well, is it coming down, or is it the moment our feet touched the
Hold
sigil
on.
itself?
No one else has checked to see if we can read this. Only he has, right?
Right.
Like,
That's why I'm asking him.
well, I was gonna say we can all see it. So can we not all look and see if one of our languages is what this is written in?
Sure.
Because like I can read Celestial and
I
Common.
can cast
yeah.
comprehend languages.
There we go.
Good. I was waiting on that.
I'm like, why are we asking him? He clearly doesn't know.
No, because I didn't want to take Zach's moment.
My moment was, as far as I'm concerned, my moment was done the minute I said something about don't step out.
Okay.
Do you take it away?
Okay.
Language
Going
that
to.
any of you know these languages. This
Okay.
language, the combination of languages, but I don't think any of you know it.
So, if possible, then may I cast comprehend
Yeah.
languages on myself?
Absolutely, you can. Let me just double check how that works. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a problem. The literal meaning of any language you can hear or see signed. You understand any written language that you see. It takes 1 minute to read. Okay. So it's not a page, so it's not gonna take that long. As you are looking down at this, the language becomes clear to you in almost a very strange way. As you're paying attention to it, it becomes very clear to you that this is in language that you feel like you should know. It's strange. It feels familiar, and then suddenly the letters form into words that you're able to understand. And it says, those who step within bind themselves to stone. Those who step without bleed into it.
Oh, that's not exactly comforting.
Ethan,
Um,
just so you know, your mic is doing some crackly stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little crunchy.
Okay, hang on. Let me. If I turn it off,
Like
it's gonna
electronic
mess up my
interference or something.
recording.
Say, just make sure you're recording again if it does go.
Yeah, let me unplug and replug. Hang on 1 sec.
All right.
While you're doing that, we'll do our. Well, actually, could he hear us when we do that?
YOLO.
What's
While
it?
the DM's away, we play.
Yeah,
Dominant-
DM's away. All right.
Did anyone? Sorry.
it?
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Can
No, I
somebody
did.
repeat that, please?
I
Sorry.
did get it. So as long as we stay within the circle, we bind ourselves to stone. If we step without, we bleed into it.
Well, that's a bit disheartening. Binding to stone. She looks at Beryl because stone. Do you have any expertise about that?
No, I've not really experienced turning into stone. I think some of our friends upstairs did, though.
It almost seems. Iris will kind of like. Because they reacted when we landed in here. They hefted their weapons.
Yeah.
And I'm
all of
wondering if
them-
it's like a mirror situation. Like if we move, will they move whilst inside the
all
thing?
of them picked up their
a
all of
waiting
them
angel
picked up
situation.
their weapons with two hands and they looked down at the circle is what all the statues did.
Well, I think we surmised that the chicken dragons were turning people to stone. So, but
Who has the staff? By the way.
I
Redfall.
think I said you do have it. I have it. I put it in my inventory. I couldn't remember if you took it off of the thing and handed it to me or kept it yourself.
I don't mind either way.
I think you should have it. You were the one that broke it out of the things.
Emmy,
This is
well,
how I know
while
I
you're
was
reading
tired last
this-
time because I thought it was still up there.
Emmy, while you're reading this, will you roll an Arcana check with advantage for me because you're able to read the script?
certainly. Arcana with advantage. That is a 15.
Okay.
Ooh.
With a 15 and the ability to read what is written in the script, this is also where I want to introduce your new friend. If you want to say where it comes from, to kind of aid you in this. Your new companion, if you want to kind of describe where it's located, like how's it hanging out?
As I bend over to start perusing the script and my hand comes up to my chin as I start puzzling over it, you would see this kind of shimmer draped around my shoulders, like this tail coming down over one shoulder and this little petite feline face over the other shoulder, kind of peering in. And it seems to be muttering to me, and I'm just start muttering almost to myself as it phases in, and you start to realize that I'm actually kind of well, it could be this. I mean, bind into stone could mean this, or it could bind. Is it an actual bond, or is it? And this little creature is talking back to me, and it's kind of got this galaxy pattern, and you can see that it's got some wings folded down its back, I believe.
It does,
Need to
yeah.
double
They have
check.
wings.
Yeah. So yes, and it's got this very cute little feline face with these really bright blue sapphire eyes.
Hmm.
Is this Brat God reincarnate?
Maybe.
I didn't even think of that.
The little bitty cat sphinx, the tiny cat that has wings, moves down to the letters as you're interpreting them, and as you're kind of looking down at it, it gives off light, so you're able to read it more easily. When you get a chance, Emmy, add that your sphinx has the ability to cast the light cantrip at will.
Okay.
And as it does this, it's almost like one of those little lamps that you poke and it turns on and glows. It glows yellow whenever you do that.
Okay. I'm gonna need a character sheet for him.
Oh yeah, I'll add one for you. He's got
Yeah.
default stats, so I'll add a little.
Ethan, you're recording again, yeah?
Yeah, don't worry, I checked. It's the first thing I did. I am peeking out a little bit though. I'm gonna turn it down just a tiny bit. Okay, so
This is my
I'll
Sphinx
add
of Wonder.
Amy's fam. Let me add this to y'all real quick so you've got access to that. And as you're doing that, you're able to see that there are breaks in this. What did it call it? That It called it something crazy, but I'm gonna put it next to you so you can like mess with it later if you want to. There are breaks within this script that seem like just because of like degradation. You can see all around you there's like stones that have been broken up and the ground is a little less maybe worked than it used to be. And so you can see little breaks in the positioning of the circle. It looks like those might be ways to try to break the circle itself. But it would take either some kind of action to, destroy the circle, which can be risky, or you'd have to try to slip out between those cracks in those, which may be a little difficult for anybody who's not as dexy.
Like myself.
Yeah.
So we might be able to break out of some of these cracks in it, in the working, I think.
Without activating the bleed part.
Can we try
Right?
to put the gems in the staff and see if maybe this will help us?
I'm down for that.
You could do both.
I'm gonna start rummaging in my
Same
bag
time.
and get that out.
Okay.
Just sifting through the chicken sand in here.
Okay. All the kinetic chicken sand and bones. The bones didn't go away, by the way. So it's just like bones and chicken sand in that
Nice.
bag.
Get future bone broth for you.
I was gonna say that's yeah.
So if you want to add all of I would need everybody who is taking the rubies. If you're adding, how many of them are you adding?
I assume we're going to try to put all of them together like a puzzle piece, right? In
Okay.
the staff.
Yeah.
There's not going
Sure.
to be a check for this. You guys have already rolled checks to find out like if it will do this, how it fits. So if everyone will take the Fey rubies out of their inventory, you can put them all into this scepter. Who's holding the scepter?
I think we determined that Redvold currently has the scepter.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right. So I think the ruby that I have is the big one. Does that fit in as part of this?
It goes into the top. So you have
Okay.
to imagine like it's about 3 foot long of a scepter. It comes to like a lengthy I'm trying so hard not to describe it in a way that's gross.
A long shaft.
rod.
I immediately
I
realized I was
think we've
describing
reached the
like
point
the
where you
head and the
can
shaft, and I'm
describe
like, oh no.
As long as it doesn't start throbbing, we're all good.
Oh,
Might start
well,
pulsating.
we don't know what's gonna happen here.
But the top, fuck me, the top of this scepter has like an indentation where the large ruby goes. That it has that like nail drilled into the end of it, that clearly like locks down into it like a key. As you try to put it in and again, I'm not gonna make you guys roll for this because you already have figured this out. As you try to put it in first, or even like before the other smaller rubies are in, it's almost like it won't unlock. It's like trying to slip a key into a tumbler that it doesn't fit. But as you put the other gems around the top of it and then down along the sides, the larger ruby that has that like root at the bottom of it slips in like a key and locks in. And as it does, you hear it just briefly like, and it seems the rubies seem to go off just a very, very dim light.
Does the floor around us change at all?
No.
Iris
Alright,
will ask Emmy. She's like, so these cracks that you're saying, it won't trigger the implied bad event that will happen if we cross it regularly? Is that what you're saying?
Can I double check that? Because I was
Yeah.
simultaneously trying to write notes and figure out what my
So-
familiar was doing. I apologize.
No, you're fine. In game terms, what you have been able to find out with alongside your familiar, having understood the language and kind of where the cracks in this are, and I'm assuming Beryl is kind of helping you with this. You find there are parts in the stone that because the floor has degraded, the sigils don't connect correctly, and so with the right kind of strike, you could potentially sever the entire circle, which might shut it down. And there are also gaps that are big enough that if you were quick enough and you were able to kind of slip through it, you could likely slip out without triggering the effect. They're just small enough of breaks that you think you might be able to slip through the part that it would catch that you're stepping outside of the circle. So it's kind of do you want to try to break it and turn it off, or do you want to slip out and leave it on?
Okay, so if I've got this correct, from what I've figured out, these parts where the stone has degraded, there are cracks, which means they're not beholden to the nature of the sigil itself. So we can either try to widen the cracks and potentially destroy the whole sigil and we can escape, or we can attempt to slide through them, because from what I can gather, it's not under the same rules as the sigil.
All right. I think. And Iris will kind of look over at. I'm assuming we see a door,
Yeah, you
like
can see a door
where we were
here
hearing the voices.
and a door
Mhm.
here. And Beryl was able to determine for each of you, like right as he hit the ground, that there were two people touching the ground in this area. One of them has been moved and is elevated on top of something that is stone. And this direction up north of you, which I realize like if I go that far you can't see, right here through here is a very large creature that seems to be somewhere in there.
Well, not that, but I could. If our two options are trying to escape and it's triggering, or trying to break it and it triggering, we set up a plan maybe to fight or escape, but I can try and slip out and maybe see about our two new friends in there.
Well, before you do that, hold on. Can I? So I want to send Gemboy Garnet through
Yeah.
one of the cracks because he can just kind of hover on through like over one of the cracks.
Okay.
And I want to both because I think I can like kind of share his senses more or less. I think I can, or he can communicate to me like what he sees. But I
Yeah.
want between him and just myself looking around. Is there anything in this room on the walls or like on the statues, behind the statues, on the statues' backs or anything that like a button or a lever, like anything we could interact with?
Right. So you can share senses with your familiar. If it's like the 2014 rules, you can just like, you have to basically close your eyes and you see through its eyes within, I think, 100 feet or something.
Yeah. I also,
Um,
He
so if
can
you
also
wanna-
just kind of communicate to me if he sees anything like that. If he hovers
Right.
kind of where I can't see with my own eyeballs while I do my own just looking around.
Sure. So roll with his. I think it gave you a stat block for him, but
I'm not sure that we
I
ever
can
actually
pull it up.
did.
Hang on. I've got one.
Okay.
Did we agree on using the homunculus one?
Sure. That's news to me, but yeah, let's go for
We
it.
talked about it a while back. It's been forever since we had this conversation.
There's been a lot going on. I'm cool with
Sorry.
literally anything that you
I'm just
however you
double
want to
checking
handle
what
him.
his. Hang on. What his perception checks
Sorry.
would be. Go ahead.
To be a pain as well, Ethan, you need to grant me permissions for the familiar character sheet for mine as well, because I can't see it yet. That's all.
I thought I did.
Sorry.
It says it can be edited and controlled by you. It's in your player journal.
Can't see it.
I don't know. Oh, do you mean you can't see it on the map, or you mean you can't see it on the journal?
I can't see it in my journal. I'll try
Hmm.
refreshing.
Okay.
It's probably on my end.
Sometimes that fixes it. Your little guy has a passive perception of 10, and he just has a +0 to his perception, so he would roll just flat.
Okay, I'll roll a flat d20 for him real
Okay.
quick.
Let's go, little guy.
Woohoo!
Oh.
A 2.
Oh boy.
You ain't
he
seeing much.
he floats out of the little circle and kind of goes over, and I assume as you're sharing senses with him, these statues are very clearly dwarven, and he gets pretty caught up on that, like looking around at these statues. That as he's kind of floating around, he doesn't seem to notice anything else, just the fact that these look like dwarves.
Okay. Well, then anything that I can see, or like, I'll ask everybody else too. Like, do you see anything at all in the room? Like a button, a switch, a lever, something. Like, can any of us see anything on the walls that could be like interacted with? That might,
Oops.
I don't know, disable whatever trap this could be.
I'm checking everybody's.
No,
Sorry, I accidentally clicked
and
on
nothing
something.
to eat either.
So
Um,
funny thing, the wording in sharing the familiar senses doesn't say anything about losing your own senses.
Ooh, that's
It
nice.
just
Because
says,
in
"As
the
a bonus action,
2014, you
can
had to
see
like
through their
close
eyes,
your eyes.
hear what they hear. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, everyone roll a perception check for me. We'll see what you guys can see.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Well, I'm not much better than my little guy, but I got a 13.
You got 21. Natural 20 plus
way
1.
better than.
Affliction.
Whoa. Hey, you know what? A 13 is way better than a 2. So
Yes, I meant
I
my
got
bonus.
a
I only have a plus 1
6.
to it.
Ida and Redvald are too distracted to like pick up on much, and I think Emmy is
They're just ready to fight.
very busy reading these sigils and trying to figure things out.
Yeah,
Iris, you
18.
and Beryl both hear the kind of like quiet sobbing coming from this door, and you hear that loud humming that you heard earlier that was like coming from up here, and you still hear that voice that's like speaking some kind of language through that door. Raziel, with your nat 20, you see it first. There is, in fact, what appears to be some kind of a switch, a very small like lever that's right on the left side of this door here.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, I
I'll wait.
don't
Are you
like
gonna,
that
are you gonna
chanting.
communicate that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Raz gonna look at Beryl because he sees your little gym guy flying around, and point out the lever before he steps out to do anything to see if he can get that floaty
smart.
thing to
Floaty thing.
investigate the lever that I found. Floaty thing.
Tell you, I'll do you one better. Beryl like reaches into one of the pouches or the many pouches he has on his belt, pulls out some like a little bit of powder or something, kind of coats his hand in it, and then like blows it off of his hand, and it forms a spectral hand outside of the
Yeah.
circle.
Nice.
And I cast Mage Hand, and I go and I pull that lever with my
Oh,
Mage
dear.
Hand.
Kronk,
Ah.
pull the lever.
Raz
Oh, the
immediately shields
crown.
up in like preparation. He's already kind of been on
I mean-
guard watching the dwarves. But
I'm
seeing
so
that,
worried
he's
that's
actually
just
going
a
to pull
door
it.
opener.
It's literally
not
just,
a-
yeah, I really think it's just gonna open the door. But I want
I'm
to
Yeah, but I don't
very
know what's on the
afraid
other
of
side of
what's
that
behind
door.
that
But
door.
So he just immediately gets ready in defense mode with his
Yeah.
sword or with his spear and his
Alright.
shield.
I have
Does
no
anyone
idea
want to
what's
tell
going
Beryl
on after
not
that
to just pull
perception
the lever?
check. But I'm
No,
also
I'm
gonna
ready
watch
for you,
Raz
dude.
and just pull my scythe up. Let's
Actually,
get ready.
hold on. Yeah, Iris will maybe put a hand on Beryl after seeing the
Panic.
trick, and she's like, "That is very nifty. What about our friends locked up right beside us here? If we could open that, it might be we'd have 2 more friends."
Well, do you not think the switch might deactivate the trap we're in?
I
You think
don't
it
know
just
these
opens-
weird magic things, Beryl. You know that.
All right. Hold on. The
So wait,
door.
you
that's
said
to
you
the
pulled
north
the
there.
switch, right?
Well, he was
Well,
going
I
to.
gave everyone when everyone
Yeah.
panicked. I said, "Does anyone want to stop Beryl before he does?"
Okay, all right.
And then
all right.
I
I
just
didn't hear
did.
that. The chaos. It was like the absolute chaos of pulling this lever is so good. All right, yes, continue. Sorry.
The door to the north by the switch.
Yeah.
Is it a normal door handle of some sort?
It is the door in front of you. It looks a lot like the flooring, except it's a solid stone moving up into an arch. The 2 of them appear to connect to have like handles in the middle. You don't see what looks like a lock or anything else on it. They just look big and heavy. And the door to your left similarly looks like a large stone door, but it appears to have, and I'm not going to make you roll for this because you're a dwarf. You know what stone things look like. It appears to be
Oh,
on like
yeah.
a swinging hinge so that it can go in or out. And so I almost said both ways, and I stopped myself. Be proud of me.
Hell yeah.
I
and then
am
you
proud of
said it
you.
anyway. Yay!
I keep forgetting I can just say whatever the fuck I want here. We can curse on this podcast.
Right.
Oh shit. All right. But yeah, that door here seems like it swings, and this door
Uh-huh.
here seems like it pulls toward you and is likely pretty heavy.
Yeah. So there is a weight limit on the Mage Hand. So this might
Right.
be all for naught anyway, but I want to use the Mage Hand first to very, very gently just test that door. I don't want to fully open it, but
Which door? This one?
if I pull on it, the one to the north, yeah.
Okay.
If I start to tug on it, does it feel like it's locked, or does it feel like it could be opened?
What's the weight limit on the mage hand?
I think it's still 10 pounds.
Okay, I think with 10 pounds of pressure, you can at least like jiggle it. So you watch like it as it's pulling on it. It doesn't have enough like weight to open the door all the way, but as it pulls on it, you see the door like slightly open, so it is not locked.
Okay. So the door is not locked. I don't think the switch opens the door. Should I try the switch?
If you think that's good, go for
All
it.
right. Everyone
Just
ready?
ready.
Do it.
The mage hand pulls the lever or switch, whatever it is.
Okay. You watch as all four of the statues, immediately their faces that have been looking at you, all break into a very wide, very disconcerting smile. Each of them grow
well, I
great.
don't
Oh,
like
they are
Wildly.
friends.
Their smiles grow really, really wide as they all look at you, and the circle in the middle turns off. It stops being lit up, and they do not move.
Better turn it back on. Better turn it back on.
Well, they're not moving,
Um,
right? They're just smiling.
No, they're not. They all just like looked down at you, smiled, and then the circle in the middle went dim.
Yeah, I
Red
think
Ball moved
I think
immediately
we
out
did
of
it.
it, and nothing happened.
I love it.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I mean,
say,
So as soon as the circle disappears from view, Redvold takes a quick step and almost spreads out, having been very cramped in that small circle with everyone.
Yes, you were.
Raz still in defense mode, kind of doing the slow like visual check of the statues if he moves out, and he starts shifting towards this door over here,
Okay.
and then just stays cautious until he gets to the door, and then he tries to open it.
Okay. As you open the door, you can go ahead and click on it, and it'll open. You can click and open it. You see
Or you can
another
come
door
with
on
me.
the other side.
Oh, deity.
Fun.
Which way do you pull or push the door?
No, don't do this to me.
No, I need to know. I really do.
I push the door.
Okay.
To see if it opens. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that a Sally
Because
port?
I'm just trying to make sure that I don't have anything blocking my view between me and the stone dwarves.
Okay.
So
So do
I'll
you
move in then? If it's
do you
just
move
this
into that room, or do you
Yeah.
just stay there? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm. I'm doing a quick check in here just to see if that's
I'm
it.
gonna hang back and like keep my eye on the statues while you look at that, Razzie.
Yeah. I want to go up
Cool.
closer to one of the statues and get a closer look at it.
As soon as he pushes the door in, walks through, the door swings back shut and locks.
Great.
Oh. And oh, sorry, what
Yay.
was that? Did it lock?
You heard it
Are you
like
kidding me?
it swings back, and you hear it go.
Well, at least nobody can tell me what.
am I able to?
Well, that's not
I am
good at all.
by it. Am I able to try and like put a foot out, like to stop it from
Yeah.
swinging shut?
Roll a deck save.
Cool. Cool.
Or let's just do not a deck save. Let's do a acrobatics check, because this isn't a save for you. This is a check.
Okay.
I love this old lady
Oh, yeah.
rolling acrobatics. Like it
Oh
is-
yes.
is my favorite.
Yeah,
Parkour!
you catch the
23.
door as it starts to close. You pop your foot into it, and you're able to stop the door from shutting all the way.
Way
Oh.
to go, Iris.
Yes. Why are you shutting the door on us? That's very impolite.
With her catching it, Raz realizing what almost just happened, he's gonna take his spear and use it to like wedge the door from shutting, like
Okay.
kind of help propping it, and then pull out his longsword. So he's gonna leave it there, so that way hopefully it won't shut. Like he's just kind of like when you put the bone between the teeth of the monster, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Trying to
there's
close it.
there's no check for this. It's that's fine. It just
Okay.
like locks it shut, or locks it open, basically.
All right.
Oh, that's good.
And then
Oh,
with that, he's going to cautiously take one more step towards this door and check it.
Okay. Which way are you trying to open it?
Again, he's going to try to push. He's just going to see if it, like, he's doing the cautious tap now of, like, does it
Mhm.
move? Is it unlocked?
It is unlocked. When
before
you
he
tap
does
on it, it moves
push it.
forward.
He looks back at Iris. You want to come with me?
All right. I'm happy. And is it this? Yeah, it's probably this. I
And
have
let's-
produced
let's-
flame on just for light, but
Oh.
that's a.
Do you have light
Well,
on
the
your
spear is
character?
glowing, by the way. The spear's still glowing. I haven't
I
turned
think
the
I
light
have
off on
light.
that.
No, I don't know. That's
Um,
okay. But yeah,
let-
I'm ready
let's do-
behind him.
Let's give everyone else a chance to do things too. I think Redvold was trying
Yeah.
to move up as well.
Yeah,
you're giving us
if
light.
they start walking through a door that was already automatically closing, I would want to go and hold that door open.
Okay.
Are you going to be Holdor?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Too soon.
don't do
How
this
dare
to
you,
us.
sir.
That's the worst. Absolutely not.
Still not okay.
Okay. As you move through this door, the door is propped open. Real quick, Barrel's looking at the statues. Emmy and Kaida, what are you doing?
I'm gonna move up closer to Beryl and also look at this statue over Kaida, god damn it. And be like, hey, Beryl, there's a resemblance here.
You think so? They are quite handsome, aren't they?
Okay. I was wondering if we were kind of going with the idea that all dwarves kind of look the same. But nope, I clearly misread that.
Oh boy. Okay. Then know where each of you, Emmy, where are you planning to like go or do things right now? I'm just making sure I know where everybody is as things are happening.
You know what? Because Beryl is also doing the investigatory thing, I'm
Yeah.
actually gonna join him because
Okay.
study buddies.
Yeah.
Let's co-investigate this.
So
Exactly.
will you two
Sure.
and Kaida all roll an investigation check, please?
Certainly.
Oh, 9. Not my best work.
I got a 14.
All right. And Kaida's got a 12. Okay.
Just a
As
quick
you guys
question.
are, yeah, please.
Where's Garnet during all of this?
He was floating around. I think he's just back to hovering. When he's not kind of chilling in my beard, he just sort of hovers over my shoulder, like in the artwork. So he's just kind of back to me.
My Sphinx reaches out and starts to bat at him.
I think Ethan, do you want to take this or do you want me to?
No, go ahead.
Okay. He
Okay.
does not enjoy that. Like at first. He like darts quickly to the other shoulder and kind of like hides behind his beard and then like peeks
Ooh.
out again, like like just sort of peeking around like his beard and neck at the would you say it's like a sphinx?
It's a Sphinx of
You mean a
Wonder.
sphinx? Ooh.
His name is Kepri.
Oh.
And you
Kepri.
watch as his pupils get real wide.
Seeing the pupils, Garnet darts back into Barrel's beard and is not seeing it yet.
So much. I love it.
Mhm.
So
Precious.
much. It's adorable and I want it.
It's
I need
got hints
familiars
of, like-
merch now, thanks.
Of like,
Yeah.
what is it? Aladdin's Abu and like, what's the creature from Avatar? The flying creature.
Oh,
Lemur?
Momo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm
Momo.
thinking of.
We've got the Momo and Arpa vibe going.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Right. As you guys are all kind of looking at that, I'm going to let the other crew go through and I'll tell you what you learn in a sec because it's kind of all happening at the same time. So, Raziel, if you're pushing through the door first,
Yep, I'm gonna
again,
push this one,
you
but
said you
hold
pushed
the
it
door
or you're
this time.
pulling it. Okay.
I'm gonna push this one, but I'm gonna keep my arm on the door so I don't actually let go of the door. If it
Okay.
pushes, it's gonna push me back in.
Okay. As you push the door
Character growth.
open, go ahead and click the open button there on that door.
I'm trying. It's clicking me
Oh.
instead.
Yeah, I hate when it happens. You see immediately in front of you, you see kind of a uncomfortable scene as you see what appears to be a person in like a red cloak and 10 armor here, and the woman that you saw earlier with the kobo is what they're called. The bird companion is laying on this table and she is strapped down. And the second you swing the door open, Iris and Raziel, I need both of you to make dex saves so the floor gives out below you.
Oh, fuck. Good 8. 17.
You're fine. You managed to dart. You tell me which direction you go because the whole like space here gives out. So you need to go forward or
think-
back.
I think it'll depend on if the space ahead of me is empty.
Yeah, let's see what happens with
Oh,
Raziel.
Oh, actually, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan, you rule on this.
Mm-hmm.
If the floor drops out,
Oh.
would she have enough? This is before I saw it was a 2, this is the idea. Would Iris have the wits about her to Spartan kick Raz forward to send herself backwards?
I'll make you a deal.
Put me in there alone.
I'll give you
Okay.
what we used to call, I don't know if they still call it this, but a devil's bargain. You
Blades in the Dark.
very much. You can because you succeeded and you watch him start to fall, you can kick him through, but you will fall. Or he
well, I
can
don't like
fall
that
and
Don't
you can
do
dart
it.
out.
I don't like Iris's chances if she falls
I was
into
gonna
the
say,
dark
don't do
alone.
either.
No, I think she'd go forward because the space is vacant.
Okay. Yeah, you watch Raziel fall as you like kick off the wall and jump over.
I didn't know
him.
I had to roll one until you said it, and I was like, oh, okay. Because I thought I was already in the room, and that's what made the floor fall.
Oh,
okay.
geez.
Hmm?
Raziel, as the floor opens up, it doesn't go down very far. There's only about 4 feet of falling time here, so you're not taking damage from the fall. The problem is all the blades at the bottom of this thing.
Oh no!
So as you
Can I
fall
try to
into
land on
it,
my shield?
it's too late for that because you're falling into this.
Okay.
You're gonna take the slashing damage as these like spinning stone blades, almost like a blender at the bottom of this thing. You hit the ground and they chop into your legs, and you take 7 points of slashing damage. This is gonna put us all into like everybody has to go one at a time mode because he is now getting chopped up inside the bottom of this thing. Redval, what are you doing as you see this happen?
I'm very concerned. In terms of where he is,
Mm-hmm.
it would be closer. Like it'd be easier to reach him if I was on the other side of the gap, or
Yeah, you would have to
is it gonna be-
jump it to make it easier, but you can do that as part of your movement. What's your strength score?
my strength score is 16.
Yeah, you can
My
easily
movement
bridge
speed
that.
is 35,
Yeah.
and I'm
So if
8
you were to-
foot tall.
If you were to back up, you have to technically get a running, jump or whatever, but if you back up 5 feet and then run it, you can easily clear this without having to make a check because your strength score is high enough to jump it.
Right.
So you can back up and jump it if you want to.
Then that is exactly what I do. I leap forward, and with the leap, I'm intending to land prone,
Okay.
and I'm already reaching my arms down as I'm
cool.
crying out for Raz. Grab a hold.
Okay.
he doesn't hesitate. He's immediately reaching for the hand.
Okay, I want. I'll give you a choice here, Redval. Because you jumped over, you have an action like in this kind of like frozen time of saving him. I will let you make a strength check with advantage to help Raziel out, or each of you can make your own strength checks. You guys decide between the two of you.
I'll let him
So-
decide. I don't mind either way. If you want to do your own and I'll do mine, that's fine.
I was prepared to rage just for this
Ah.
this moment.
That's
to
why I
get
love you. Oh, it's
advantage.
so good.
That's so
And,
sweet.
So, I think I'd still be prepared to do that, but I'll take the advantage myself.
I was gonna say
Okay.
I think both of us have decent strength, so I don't need the help if he doesn't need to use it.
All right, roll that strength
Um,
with advantage for me.
Is it
Okay.
strength save?
It is just a strength check, not a save.
Okay.
I guess Iris couldn't use the help action.
Wait, just sorry.
You
you
say,
say
yeah, you
save
can
or
help.
check.
I mean, there's already
Yeah.
advantage. I'm not
It's
sure how
just a
much
check.
more.
Oh,
It's not
true.
save.
Check. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Mhm.
21.
Okay, yeah. 21, you very quickly yank him out of there. I'm going to put him on the other side of you here. And as soon as you pull him out, you watch the blade cycle 2 or 3 more times, the floor close, and the doors both swing back shut.
Crap. Okay.
Oh, what the fuck?
Raz, are you
Thank you.
okay?
He just tries to brush it off, and he's like, "I'm so glad you're with me. This is the second time I think I owe you a beer."
And we'll enjoy that together later. I'll always be there to pick you up.
You boys are so sweet. Glad you're okay, Raz.
Thank you.
Are you a bit shorter now?
I'm definitely not trying to lose any more limbs.
Iris is gonna check out this girl and see, is she dead, alive? What's the sitch?
She's alive. She is looking at all of you with kind of like shock, but also like seemingly on the verge of maybe passing out. She looks very like kind of weak. You've seen her before. We mentioned this because you guys could kind of hear her voice. She is the Kobo rider, which is the bird creature that's still on the elevator. She is shackled to this table, laying down, and her armor has been removed, and you can see like a wound in her stomach. As you're looking at her, there is a person also in this cage that you can see, and Iris, because of your passive perception, you see another person who is sitting against the wall, who is like
Ooh.
up against the wall. They are off the ground. They are like clinging up in the corner of the wall.
Fun.
But both Redvald and Raziel cannot see that person.
Okay. She'll turn to the side like, "Hello, fellows. We'll get to you in a moment." And
No
she
rush.
essentially
Please
uses,
save
like,
my
the
friend.
plural.
Yeah.
Never do. And she pops out a good berry and just gently feeds it to the girl. She's like, "Okay, open up, dearie." She'll try and give her 1 point of health.
Okay.
I have healing spells as well I can use.
Mm.
Okay. As you all are doing that, I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to jump back to the other group. So
Yeah.
she does open her mouth. She takes the berry, starts chewing on it, and she becomes like more conscious, but she looks a little haggard. Beryl, you and Emmy and Kaida. Beryl, you're not noticing too much about these, but Emmy and Kaida both managed to identify that these are some kind of animated statue that seems to trigger from the icon in the middle of the runic symbols in the middle of the floor. And Emmy, you notice that at least two of them, these top two, are on like a wheeled track so that they can move very, very fast. You see that they can move effectively. I'll use my ruler here. You can see they can move this way, and this way at a very high speed because they are effectively on some kind of a track to like cut people off as they come into this room. But because you disabled the runic symbols, they don't seem to do anything. Kaida, you recognize with your investigation check that the weapons they hold are not, fastened to them. They are just being held by these animated statues. And now that they are disabled, each of them are usable weapons that you could potentially take if you wanted to. This is a pickaxe that will function as a I don't know, I'll figure that out. But this is a maul that you can take. I don't know what to call a pickaxe. We'll call it like a war axe. It's like a one-handed D8.
There's like a war pick or something.
Yeah, war pick. I don't know. There's some other weapon. This is a maul, and this is a great axe. And this person also has a great axe. So
Funny
if you
'cause
wanted
I can't
to
see anything but just the circles
pings.
pinging.
Yeah, so if you wanted to take one of these weapons or inform others that they are here, you are able to do so.
Absolutely. I'm going to look down and I'm going to be like, I like the look of that, and kind of pull it out of his hand and kind of turn to the others like, guys, new weapons. I told you they were friends.
Yeah, indeed, you had the right of it. I think Beryl's shitty investigation check is a result of him hearing the commotion over there and being distracted. And he's like, "Iris, are you all right over there?"
No response, unfortunately.
There's a lot of things
Well,
happening at once.
that's concerning.
Okay.
Well, Emmett, did you get the impression that these are dwarven make? Why do you think they're in the shape of dwarves, especially if the runes aren't even dwarven writing?
Well, there could be several reasons why dwarves. I mean, we're in a stone dungeon. I mean, there are dwarven gods. We don't really know where the power of the well comes from, and so, for all we know, this could be some kind of domain of a dwarven god, perhaps. But I mean, it would make sense then that the writing isn't in dwarven, but
So about this door, can I go over and yank on it?
Yeah, but
Should-
roll a perception check for me as you do that. All three of you, please.
Oh shit, that door up there.
Mhm.
Oh, dear.
That's the door you're talking about? All right.
We might be safer here.
I got a 12.
Yeah,
I
we
got
might
a
have made the right
7.
choice.
No, Amy, you're the only one who notices anything at all. But the sound coming from beyond the door is that humming that you keep hearing. But you also hear this Inun Vast Inun Nocter. And as Beryl was hollering down the direction, you heard it pause for a second and then start again.
Question.
Ooh.
Is my comprehend languages still active?
It is.
Do I understand what he's chanting?
You do. Hang on.
Pump up the jam, pump it up.
Hang on. I gotta pull up all my notes. I forget you can understand everything.
Dang it. You're breaking the game. Oh, that's great. I love it.
He is speaking 2 languages. The first word, Anun, is Terran, the primordial dialect. The second word is each of the second words are Abyssal, the demonic language.
Ooh.
It is a combination of Terran and Abyssal that he is speaking. And the
And
words he's
exactly
saying
what is he
is
saying?
rise one, rise all. Rise one, rise all. Rise one, rise all. Over and over again.
Hmm.
The noon noctis.
Perfectly normal.
Noctis.
So, do you want the good news or the bad news?
I mean, yes.
Yes to which one?
Give me the bad news first.
So, the chanting, there is chanting and humming beyond, saying rise one, rise all in a fun little combo of Terran and Abyssal.
Press
So,
my ear
yay,
to the
but
door. Are you sure?
good news is, yay, more friends, maybe?
I mean, it does sound a little bit, apocalyptic.
Emmy, as you
Well-
recognize the language and looking back over at the runic in the middle of the room, that lasts for 1 minute, right? Comprehend languages?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I will just double check that, just make sure it hasn't changed in the change of rules.
That was a misclick.
It's like, I'll fix it,
Clicked into
don't
my
worry.
character sheet.
It lasts for an hour.
An hour? Okay, never mind.
It lasts. Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe it fades as this happens, but that's not the case. The writing on this this sigil in the middle beyond just being like, the different arcane symbols and other things, it is a combination of Terran and a language that you feel so familiar with, but you can't think of the name of.
Interesting.
You've definitely seen it before.
Huh. Do you, I mean, rise one, rise all, Terran, Abyssal. I pull out one of my sheets of paper and just
Mhm.
write down the script on the sigil because I'm like, it's bothering me that I can't remember this.
Okay.
Did you communicate? Yeah, you told us what he's saying, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Could I try maybe either a history or a religion check to see if there's some meaning to this phrase? Is this something that we would have heard before?
Let's
Or would have read about?
Let's do a religion check.
Roll them dice. 12.
You have never heard of this before. Nothing related to it.
Well, I mean, I don't know what all that is, but I can tell you it's not something I want to find out about without the other 3. Maybe we should go see what they're doing.
There was screaming.
Mhm.
I mean, it could be screams of joy, right?
What,
Does
in the other
rise
room?
one, rise all sound like screams of joy?
I mean, I've heard that at some of the bar crawls at the university, sometimes they shout stuff like that.
Well, in that case, I'm game. If Emmy says I can go through the door, I will try it again.
Oh, I'm not saying go through. I mean,
Ah, damn it,
I
girl.
wouldn't presume to tell you what to do, but
All right. I'll tell you what. The door is unlocked. When we get the other 3, we'll come back and then you can try the door. Let's just go see what they're up to.
Just quickly, what way are the hinges on the door?
It pulled. When I tried it, it pulled. It opens toward us.
Do you mean
Just
which
in
door?
case, should we
This one?
the one above
Yeah.
us that we're looking
yeah,
at?
it
yeah.
does pull you.
Does it have handles?
It does. 2 like large stone ones in the middle.
Do you think maybe we should put like an axe or something through it, just so that we're not surprised from behind while we're helping the others?
Fair, Kaida. Do you think you could grab one of those weapons you said the big dwarf statues
Yeah, I
were
got this
holding and
pickaxe in my hands that I stole
Lock
from
it.
the one that they can have. But I'm gonna take another weapon from them.
aye? Sounds good.
She's gonna have like giant stone weapons like all over her, like a total arsenal.
Just gonna toss them through this sally port over here. One for you, one for you.
Be awesome.
If you want to, you can add 2 great axes, a maul, and a war pick, which I think is a weapon in 2024, but we'll double check just to
It
make
is.
sure. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then add those.
We're
You can
going
add those 4 to you.
shopping.
Now, are you guys going through this door? Is that the plan?
That's what I'm trying to get these guys to do, and I'm gonna start moving over to it.
Yeah, we join the others, I'm assuming.
Okay. Which way do you pull the door?
But yeah, you. Since I knew that the top one pulled, I'm gonna pull this one.
Okay.
Good choice.
That would just be my first instinct. The doors in this room open inward. I'm gonna pull on it.
Okay. You can open it.
Oh, there we go.
Yay.
You see another door.
Right. Are you coming? Did you block that door up there?
Beryl,
Yes.
Iris, is that you?
can we hear each other through the door?
Yeah, you can. It's
I'm
not.
assuming the
it's,
sound
It's a stone.
insulation isn't
Yeah, it's
great.
a stone door, but you can hear through it.
Raz
You-
just whispers over to Iris, goes, "Remind him to pull."
I will do. So, Beryl, the floor between these tends to drop out, so be very careful if you step on it. I'm also being told to pull the door from that side to see if it works any better. But we've got 3 new friends here.
Friends, did you hear that, Emmy? 3 new friends.
Yes, that young lad up there on the ceiling.
On the ceiling.
on the wall.
With that, Roz and
Are
Red Bull,
they
roll a
hurt?
perception check, please.
Okay.
And sorry.
One is very hurt.
All right.
A 9.
Yeah, you don't see him. Redvault does.
You guys are lying.
Beryl, you can open the door.
Make it
Just tell me
fine.
which way you're opening it.
Well, having heard that the floor in here drops out, I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna use the mage hand to open the far door.
Okay,
She
which
said to
way?
pull it in, so I'm gonna pull it in
Okay.
towards the little sally port, I guess.
As you do so,
got close.
nothing happens on the floor.
Oh,
It
all right.
seems like Raz was correct that pushing the doors is what triggered the floor to fall through.
All right, lovely. Well, you had the right of it. Let's go. They said we've got 3 new friends in that room.
Hello.
In a moment.
Boop-a-doop-a-doop.
I still only see 2. I don't know what they're talking
Crowded.
about.
Aye, right. Iris, you said 3, but there's only 2 folk in here.
Oh, and she'll just kind of point up here, and she'll be like, "Could somebody work to get this young lady unstrapped from the table?
Yeah,
We
I
can
think
try and open
Raz
this
definitely
cage."
Gonna help.
We've also been at it
Uh,
for about an hour. Do we want to take our break soon?
Yeah, let's do that in
Where
just
did the
1
time
sec.
go?
As
Jeebus.
as you walk into the room, the person who has like a reddish like tunic and kind of robe on that is wearing the tin armor, he says, "Hello, new friends. Please help Scarlet. She is hurt." And the person who you've pointed out multiple times, Iris, drops down and folds their arms and kind of like faces away from you. They have been the person who's been heavily cloaked. You notice that of this party, I'm not going to make you roll for this. I think you guys have seen them enough to know there were 4 people in this party. You only see 3.
Beryl nudges Iris and he's like, broody sort, isn't he?
I was about to say, I think he's in a bad mood.
Is he ugly? Is that why he was hiding himself so
Oh,
much?
Well, first all dwarves look alike, now he's hiding because he's ugly. You're a right bunch, aren't you?
The one in the corner
No
as
manners now.
Raziel speaks moves up to the bars and says, "Fuck off, you dirty first. Every fucking one of you is the fucking worst. I don't want to be killed by your dumb fucking ass." And you see her pull her hood back.
Excuse me.
Well, that's also quite rude.
Raziel, you recognize the species that she is. She's a harpy.
Ooh. Is this the woman on the table's a harpy?
No, this one here behind the
The hood.
cage that stepped up that was hiding from you. She basically just told you to go
Okay.
fuck yourself, and then she
Yeah.
like pulls out her wings, and
Oh.
she's a harpy. At that, we are going to take a
He
quick
takes-
break. Oh, hang on. let's
I was
take our
gonna say,
break,
he
and then
would
we'll
take
come back
one
and be all.
step.
Yeah, let's all react to that when
Yeah,
we
we'll
come
do
back.
the
We'll leave
drama.
it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll take just like 5 minutes here, and we'll come back. I don't have the ability to, shut stuff down because of the mess up I did earlier. So I'm just going to mute everybody. So let's take a quick 5.
Yay.
Cool. I did
All
hear,
of our
but Marie,
audio
are
is
you
back
here?
on.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a thing light up.
I did, but now Marie?
I'm an idiot
good.
and I was muted
Okay.
so that Rhodey wouldn't hear me talking to the cat.
Its name is Capri. Thank you very much. No.
This
So the
character thing makes me think of the Garnet character.
So as we're all picking up together again,
I love Morph.
Mhm.
there are three people in this room that you notice and recognize to some level. The person who is like armored in tin, the person who's been wearing like long robe, who has now thrown it back to reveal she is a harpy, which, as you may remember from whenever you created them, harpies are, and this specific one has a kind of like sandy brown hair. She has long, like elvish, fanged ears, a long pointed nose, but and kind of like a constant smile on her face, despite the fact that she's clearly not happy right now. She has wings and no hands, so she has like a set of wings, and then she has clawed, like almost like vulture or like falcon feet that stick out below her robe. And she's clearly been hiding this from everyone and up until this moment, and took this moment to scream at Raziel as this happened. And there is a woman laying on the table who has just been revived by Iris, but does not seem like she's doing very well.
So, at the insults, Raz has a slight moment of visible anger, takes a step forward because he was trying to pay attention to this woman on the table. Takes a step forward, stops, straightens up, and then just says, "Ah, so she's hideous. I understand the disguise now." And as he says this, he takes his left hand and lays it on the woman's like knee or whatever, and uses lay on hands to heal her for 4 HP.
Okay. You watch as the wound in Scarlet is what the person in the tin armor called her. You watch as the wound in her stomach starts to seal up, and she still kind of like cries a little bit at that and says, "Okay, it's nice to meet you. We need to get out of here."
I do agree.
Raz turns and like actually starts focusing on the woman again and ignores the harpy for a minute. And do I need to assess if she can get up on her own, or does she need assistance?
You
She's
can roll a
chained.
medicine check if you want. She's chained down. Yeah, she is chained down.
Oh, okay. I'll roll a medicine check and then we'll see.
You can check her condition that way at least. Wow,
18.
okay.
Yeah,
With
it's
an
a- it's a
18, you notice a couple of things pretty quickly. Is that one, her armor's been taken off. She has what appears to be a very precise like wound down the middle of her like upper stomach chest that looks like it was opened up by a precise blade, like a scalpel kind of wound.
Mhm.
Your healing has sealed that, so she is no longer bleeding from it. But it was left open, which is surprising given that this seems like, why would you surgically open a wound and just leave it to bleed?
Right.
But she looks like she can walk. She's probably in a lot of pain. She looks uncomfortable and harrowed by whatever has happened to her, but she is also chained down.
Okay. Then is there like any obvious way to just take the chains off, or does it look like it needs a key?
It appears they need a key.
Okay.
I have a great axe.
I like that.
Try it.
Kind of.
Can Iris, while this is happening, just make a check to see if there's any type of lock or door mechanism on this fence?
Yeah. Roll a investigation or perception check either way.
While Raz was attending to the person, Beryl also would have stepped over by Redvold and just sort of been like, "I know he can be a bit prickly, but that was uncalled for."
The harpy points at you with her foot because she doesn't have a hand. She picks up her foot and points at you and says, "Those things killed half my family. I won't. Don't hurt Scarlet, okay? And she just looks pissed
Nice
and kind of like
toes.
walks back to the corner.
Why are you bullying this woman?
I mean it earnestly. Nice toes. We won't let anything happen to Scarlet. Also, what do I need to do to try to hit a chain with a great axe? I'm pulling out of my bag.
As she's doing this, Emmy's like, or I could try these. And I pull out a set of thieves' tools.
Nice.
Iris still has what she was doing to be resolved.
I
as
know,
well.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
sorry.
21.
I lost it
Oh,
on
it's all
nice
good.
toes. Iris, a couple of things stand out to you immediately. One is that the cage is locked with a standard with what appears to be the same kind of manacle lock key that the woman is bound by. So likely the same key. So if Emmy is able to pop the lock, then she can probably do it on both. But with such a high perception check, you also notice a couple of things. One is there's a door up here, right here.
Oh,
It was
Right.
hidden.
Oh, cool.
It looks like a sliding stone door that was hidden, but you can see it now. And very clearly, the Tin Man in front of you is some kind of automaton. You see like pistons and small gears working in his back as you look in that direction. So you notice all of those things with a 21.
interesting. Well, Miss Emmy, once you're done with getting those off, there's another lock here, and there seems to be another door. And she just kind of like gently knocks on it.
Beryl will kind of come up and back you up on that.
Thanks.
Okay.
Remember, you might want to push this one because coming towards this room seems to be bad for doors.
You could always look to see what side the hinges are on. That could probably tell you.
Seems like a stone sliding door.
Yeah, this seems to slide just like into the right, into like the cage area.
It's a pocket door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just knock on it. Does anything happen?
You don't hear anything on the other side. It sounds like it's a little cavernous. You hear like a little bit of like the echo of it come back to you, the reverb, but you don't hear any other kind of response.
Well, and she'll turn around.
I love that. For us.
But it has been stated to the group if anyone wants to.
That's so funny.
All right, Emmy, go ahead and roll your check to unlock this, to unlock Scarlet.
I'm again talking to Kepri over my shoulder. I'm like, in theory, I know how to do this. I've read it and all this kind of stuff, but the 8 says otherwise.
Oh.
I knew that was gonna happen.
As you go to Jimmy the Lock, and kind of like begin to struggle, the Scarlet looks at you and she says, I am appreciative, but if you could hurry. And you hear the harpy from back here step up to the gate and say, just hand him to me, I can do it.
That's probably a better idea. I hand it over to her. I mean, as she's kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
as I hand them to her, I'm like, I mean, I feel like the question should be asked, how did this happen? I gesture to the cage and everything.
So, Emmy, you hand the thieves' tools to the harpy?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
The harpy immediately... Red Vault said no. Hang on. Go ahead.
No, Raz said no.
Oh, Red said no. Okay. Do you actually stop her?
No.
Okay.
He is pissed that they're helping her.
Okay. She moves up to the door and very swiftly with her foot in the thieves' tools, Jimmy's the lock, opens it, and immediately rushes down here to Scarlet to begin unlocking her, which I'll see if she does, but this is going to take a minute. So, easily. As you ask that question, the person in the tin armor comes out and says, "Hello, I am Red. We were ambushed by Goliaths. They attacked us and brought us down here, which we did not care for." And he points at Scarlet and says, "They cut her open and put something in her stomach. Also, we had another companion who fled like a coward. His name is Tarvin. Very handsome, big coward.
All right, that was a lot of information. I'm not sure all of
Very
it was
handsome, I
relevant.
like that name.
Would you like
But,
more?
what?
He,
No.
like, turns his head to the
Well,
side.
yes, actually, but I would like you to just answer a question as briefly and succinctly as you possibly can. What did they put in here? Did you see it?
He
Or what
looks
did they take
at the harpy, and she like looks back at him and like stares daggers at him for a second, and then he goes, "I believe my companion would murder me if I explained further. I
Yeah,
will."
he murders randomly anyway.
And right as he's saying that, she pops the lock on Scarlet, and Scarlet sits up, and she tries to like help her get up, and he says, "It looked like a rock." And the
Was it
harpy,
red?
she says, "No, it was black." And the harpy's like staring at him like, "Shut the fuck up."
I hold out my hand for my thieves' tools back, please.
She tosses them over to you.
Raz is just staring daggers at her.
Yeah, she's returning that favor hard.
I mean, your friend Tarvin, a big fellow coward. He didn't happen to be a mage or anything like that, did he?
He is. He's a wizard. And I said he was hot, not tall.
I just said big fellow, but okay. Do you know which way he went?
He was crying and went back to the elevator, I believe. And also to correct, not big, washboard abs. You should fucking see the things on this dude.
I
All
love
right,
this
I
game
think
robot.
we can. I think we got the picture about how bloody handsome this man is. Look at, and he looks kind of back at the harpy and back at the automaton and kind of back and forth, and he's like, "If you were ambushed by Goliaths and they cut her open and stuffed something inside her, why are you being so cagey about it? Can you just tell us the truth about what happened?"
The automaton starts to talk again, and the harpy says, "Red, please, for the love of God, shut the fuck up, please. Look, it wasn't the Goliaths that put anything in us. The Goliaths brought us down here, but they were ambushed as well. I don't think any of them are alive. You heard the screaming, I take. They're in the room up there." And she, like, nods out the door, the direction you guys came from, and says, "They brought us down here, but I don't think they knew what they were getting themselves into. I don't know if any of them are alive."
All right, I'm starting to think Ira said the right of it, and we should all we're all back on our feet. We've all got what we need. Let's get back to the elevator.
Real quick, Raz points his sword towards the harpy and says, "You got one in you too? I'll cut it out for you."
Okay.
She looks at
considering that-
you. She's going to talk over you, Envy. I'm sorry, but she's going to say, "I'd like to fucking see you try."
It wouldn't be too hard.
I would like to know the answer, though. It did seem to imply that you also had something done to you, or were you next up?
I was next. They took the Goliaths first.
They being the mushrooms or something else?
If you want to see so bad, go in the room yourself.
Well, that's not helpful, young lady.
I'm all for taking
And-
you guys with us, but in order to get out of here, we're going to have to lift you up a rope because I don't think Scarlet's in the condition really to do that. And I think before we do
Well,
that,
we
we
have
should
a
know what's in
stretcher.
her.
Yeah, well, they've got a bell. They can ring whenever they want to quit.
Ooh.
But also, I mean, wasn't the whole point of coming down here because we heard screaming and voices calling for us and, we had to do the right thing to help? What if some of them are still alive?
I think
I
we've
wanna-
done a lot of good today.
I want to leave this up to Redvald since they're his kind. Do you want to try to rescue them or do you want to leave them behind?
Redvold is still more or less seething
Mm-hmm.
with all of this. They may be my kind, but they are not my kin. My priority is you all. Should you wish to leave, then I will leave. If we have the time and resources, it might garner us more respect if we aid others. But before we decide on that, Harpy, I need you to learn and understand something. First, you were defeated by Goliaths. I have survived with my companions through this dungeon better than you and better than the other ones. Make no mistake, I will defend each and every one of these, and I'll put my arm around Raz with my life, and I will take yours if you are not respectful to him. Do not judge him for the actions of others of his kind.
Roll an intimidation check with advantage.
Okay. 17.
With a 17, you see as you're continuing to loom over her and talk to her, she is getting like smaller. Like she's doing that, she has bird legs, so her legs are like hunkering down. And as she does that, as you finish speaking, she scoops a wing underneath Scarlet, helps her get up, and she looks back at you meekly and clearly afraid of you, but at the same time, like an air of defiance kind of in her eyes as she says, if you knew what they really were, if you knew what he really was, and what his fucking father has done, then you wouldn't be standing side by side with him. And unless anybody impedes them, she's going to begin to move Scarlet out of the room.
Ooh.
Doesn't sound like anybody is. So she's going to move Scarlet out of the room over to here, and she grabs Scarlet, like kind of like wraps her up with her legs and starts to fly up the hole because she has wings.
Oh shit.
And this person here goes, "Hi, I'm Red," and he begins going to each person to shake their hand, and he says, "Hello, I am Red.
Hello, Red dear. Oh,
It's nice to
you're
meet you.
lovely.
Hello, hi, nice to meet you." He's
By the
like
way,
shaking all
when
of
the
her hands.
harpy flies up, Raz
Mhm.
just spits on the floor.
As Red is walking out of the room, you hear him say, "If you do go in there, be careful. There is a big mushroom monster and a tiny man with bandages. Both seem bad, but I didn't look at them very much. Anyway, I'm gonna go up this rope now. Goodbye." And he starts walking out of the room.
Thank you, dear Red.
I look at Kaida.
I love you.
Just give her this look of like, oh god, I know what she wants to do now. I love you.
Kisses.
Red's my favorite NPC right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna as this is happening, Emmy's
Yeah.
gonna sidle in next to Red.
Mhm.
Not Red. Next to Raz. Sorry.
Yeah.
And just kind of lean into him and go, it's all well and good that we have a big companion who's able to protect us. But if we were in the same situation, you are also quite rude to her. We treat
He
others
just-
the way we want to be treated.
He just looks at her stoically. He doesn't even glare at her. He just looks at her and then gives her a big smile and then just walks out over here.
Okay. I'm
We
assuming
could
these
hear
doors are
Raz
just.
in the-
Why did you close the door?
I didn't mean to close it. It wouldn't let me go through it, so I figured it was closed.
It's all right. Emmy feels justified. My governess will be proud of me.
All three of them, unless you stop them, will just they'll climb up or fly up, and so they all do that and go out of the hole. And yeah, what would you guys like to do?
Good job, everybody. I think it's time to go home.
That was a good speech,
Yeah.
Ruddy.
I think so.
Shouldn't we see if the Goliaths are still alive?
Look, we did some good. We saved some of the other trainees, but it really sounds like they've gotten themselves into more than... They've bitten off more than they could chew, and possibly more than we could as well. And besides, they were bullies. I think we leave them to their fate. We
Wait, but
passed
that
our
doesn't
exam.
mean that we shouldn't do the right thing just because we don't think they're deserving.
Speaking of the right thing, you guys didn't know when you were in the other room, but that door up there, it talks to us.
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, the door doesn't
Emmy
talk.
says it was, what was it? It all rise, one rise? What? I don't remember.
There's a person chanting Terran and Infernal, Abyssal in the other room, continuously chanting rise one, rise all. And I thought that perhaps, that's why I asked if their friend Tarvin was a mage, because perhaps it's Tarvin trying to summon something?
Would any of
Perhaps.
us that were in the other room have any idea what that mantra means?
Roll a religion check.
17.
Iris knows it from her college years.
It's a bit hazy. Does anybody else want to roll before I say things? I just want to double check.
You know what? I'll still try a religion check. Why not?
Okay. Why not?
17.
Okay, 2 17s. Both you and Raziel, you've heard of a lot of stories from your father, from your, family.
Mm-hmm.
The different types of religions and different types of connections. The combination of languages is the only thing that the rise one, rise all doesn't sound familiar at all. You're not familiar with that phrase or what it comes from. Neither of you or Emmy are. Actually, hang on, I'll come back to Emmy. But you are familiar with the concept of mixing languages. That is something that is kind of a common thing in the world below. When they find creatures, they're almost always speaking some sort of hybrid of world above languages, whether it is a slant version of a certain type of language or a combination of two languages. So a lot of spells and traps and things often require multiple types of languages to be able to understand them in the world below, because that's typically how they function. So you've heard about that from your father during the wars and things like that. That was pretty well known. Emmy, you have a similar understanding of the thing that I just told Raz, that there is, this is something that you've read about being in the well. You don't know if it's true or not. You've heard of it. But rise one, rise all strikes you as something familiar as you think about it more. And you remember seeing the phrase once in your father's notes, but you don't recall what it was related to.
Okay.
So I will inform the party of what you just said.
Okay.
The little one might be right. We might need to check on this. And not because of the Goliaths, but this could be a big deal. We might need to stop this. Obviously, the final boss, basically, of this dungeon hasn't been defeated, since we know where every other group is. We might want to take the final boss out and make sure this level is actually cleared for future well divers.
That's all well and good, but it's not our responsibility. The well divers can send someone down here, send a team down here who aren't just trainees to handle it.
Well, I
That's
say
certainly
we take a vote.
responsibility.
Aye. If a majority want to go through, I'll go through with you.
And if they
Iris
don't,
will just
I'll go back.
raise a point before the vote happens. She's like, I must admit, I'm feeling a bit anxious about that young lady carrying something out of the well within her. I know we're sent in to bring stuff out, but that's always dead things, not intentionally planted, surgically inserted things. I'm worried that if that gets to the surface, it might spell a bit of trouble. So I'm wondering if maybe that should be dealt with here. I know this doesn't necessarily tie into our decision, but it does put a bit of stress to going up and maybe talking to them before they leave versus
right.
continuing down here.
Yes, they didn't seem too keen on sharing it as long as they we make sure that the well divers are aware that they're bringing something out with them, something that was planted by the denizens, then the well divers can deal with it. But yeah, it might take one of us going up there, or all of us going up there and making sure that they tell the truth.
But let's vote.
I think Emmy is right. We have the ability to help. We have the responsibility to help.
So we've got 2 for diving in.
Well,
I've
I
got
think 3.
2 axes and a scythe. Let's go.
3.
I got 2 thumbs and I'm ready to fight.
2 feet in a heartbeat.
Well, Iris, I
For
think
now?
we're outvoted.
Oh, it's hard keeping up with these young folk, isn't it?
Yeah, that's democracy for you, though. Redvold, before we go... What was that?
The young vote will always get you.
The young vote. We should have voted the young vote, Iris. Before we go opening another door, though, Redvold, would you mind if I take another look at the scepter now that we've sounded all those rubies into it?
No, of course. Here you go.
Can I maybe do another Arcana check? I do want to have Garnet kind of come out of my beard again and see if it resonates any differently now or anything like that.
Yeah, roll a Arcana check with advantage again.
Let me toggle. That's a 19.
Okay. With a 19, Garnet does the same thing that he did before, where he like taps on the scepter, and you hear him like, and the scepter responds back, and it almost sounds like a chord of like music playing, like. And the empathetic like feeling you get from Garnet is fear, not what you would have expected before, but something else, something like shocked and scared. When you're looking at this scepter and looking along with a 19 and looking along the edges of it, the like arcane symbols along it seem to be intended to bind, intended to prevent something from being under its own control, to effectively subjugate something.
You know what I'm actually tempted to do? Well, how urgently do you all feel the need to go barging through that door? Do you think you could wait 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think we could
yeah.
wait.
Beryl will pull his book out that we haven't seen since he was preparing for the trials up in the courtyard topside. Kind of flip a few pages and start muttering an incantation from one of the pages, and I'm gonna cast Identify as a ritual for technically 11 minutes. It's normal casting time is 1, so plus 10 for ritual, and see if that reveals to me anything else about this scepter now that it seems to have this magical purpose or use.
Let's do something while you're doing that, because this is 10 minutes of time. Would everyone roll a perception check as that is happening?
Hell yeah.
Everyone else, if I'm busy with this, yeah.
I got 4.
Oof. 8.
Oof.
19.
Nice.
Okay.
5.
Wow,
Ooh,
Kaida
another
and
19.
Emmy. Jeez.
19.
All right. None of the rest of you hear this, but Emmy, you and Kaida, about 8 or so minutes into this ritual that he's casting, you begin to hear what sounds like the chanting slows, He's still doing it. He's saying, Anun Nocter, Anun Devas, Anun Nocter. And you hear it continue. And as you hear that slowing down, you also you hear what sounds like combat, like things are hitting each other. And that is kind of what you begin to hear happening.
I look at Kaida, realizing that she can hear that there's probably some people in there having fun without her, and look kind of nervously at Beryl, going, "We have about 10 minutes before, probably about 10 minutes before Kaida's like, let's go, boys."
I mean, the talking is slowing down. That's a good sign, right?
I think so. Well, it depends. If they're casting some kind of ritual, it could mean that they're coming to a close or they're sustaining a spell. Normally, if they're, finishing or completing something, there's usually more intensity building. So it could be that they're
that's not
sustaining
giving me a good feeling.
Yeah, it did, without actually seeing what's going on the other side. But I mean, I know I've heard this phrase before. I've seen it in my father's notes. I just don't know what.
I have like one hand on the door. Is it giving you like that bad of a feeling though?
Well,
I mentioned this
considering that
earlier.
my father-
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Well, considering that, my father's notes kind of led to him and my sisters going missing, maybe?
Kaida, you
Just
still
looks at her with,
feel that like
really
hum.
soft eyes now. Like, hey, I'm really thank you for sharing that with us. I didn't realize.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here, to try and get braver so I can figure out where they've gone. Because they wouldn't have left me.
You are brave. We'll get braver if we go through this door.
Or, you know what? I don't need to say that we could get deader as well, but I believe in you.
Okay. Kind of the closer you get to that door, the more that hum hits you in the chest. That kind of like deep guttural, like that like strange guttural, like humming, growling noise. Is like vibrating through your chest as you get closer to the door. Beryl, as you finish this spell, just double checking that identifies and that different than it used to be.
I put it in the chat. I can read it out loud
Okay.
for the audio
That's a good
audience
point.
if we
Yeah.
want. All right. So you touch an object throughout the spell's casting. If the object is a magic item or some other magical object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any ongoing spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn that spell's name. Something else happens if you touch a creature instead of an item.
You learn that this object is a scepter of subjugation. Its intent, I'm going to give you a little bit more than the spell says. Its intent is to subjugate the power of the gems that are within it, to control it. You recognize that the effect that you can use is that 3 times per day, 3 times per long rest, you can activate it as an action, and you will roll a D100, and depending on what you roll, a different fey effect will occur. This could be any number of things. You're not entirely sure how it's working because focusing on it, the just chaoticness of it is difficult to place. But it seems like this scepter's intent is to subjugate the gems that are within it, harnessing its power, and whenever you activate it, it could do a lot of different effects.
Fantastic. Does it require attunement?
It does.
Okay.
However,
Elaborate
hang
on that for me, please. What does
Hang
that
on,
mean?
hang on.
Yeah.
So attunement, you can only have a certain number of items attuned, and it takes 1 hour to attune to most items.
It's
I
usually
take
up
it
to
back.
3.
This one is not attunement. I apologize. This is not an attunement.
Ah,
So you could use it
immediate
immediately.
fun.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so for Rhodey and for the audience, if a magic item requires attunement, I think it's usually you spend a short rest attuning to it, and you can't use its properties or certain properties of it until you are attuned, and only one person can be attuned to an item at a time, and one person can only be attuned to a certain number of items at a time,
Right.
usually up to 3. I think like
It's like Bluetooth
Deegan
devices.
said.
You got to sit down and talk to it and make
Magical
sure it
Bluetooth.
likes you before it,
Yeah.
It's also
it
kind of
likes your
like
vibe.
to prevent people from having like 30 magical powerful items. You can limit
Right,
those
right. And be like,
And just
effects.
filtering through.
Yeah.
And I will say, you understand with the identify. Again, I'm giving you a lot with this, but the identify effect, you understand that there are many positives of using this and some negatives potentially of using this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Fantastic. Does it I guess that this isn't necessarily part of the information I would learn from the spell, but I'm kind of getting the vibe from what how Garnet interacted with it. Does this thing feel I get a sense of malice from this item? Does it feel evil?
It doesn't feel malicious or evil. In understanding how it functions, the fear, I think you can put 2 and 2 together and realize the reason Garnet is afraid of this is
He could be
because
subjugated by it.
he
Yeah.
could be subjugated by it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating.
Plug him
Love
in like a
that.
battery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
It's not the scepter of subjugation that's evil, it's how it's used.
well, it's powered by.
It's not the institution of slavery that's. Wait a minute.
Oh, God.
Cut
Oh
that.
my
Cut
gosh.
that.
Cut that. Rhodey, cut that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
clip
yeah.
that. No.
The wand of gem bondage.
Flip
Got
that,
it.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, he will in brief terms, like that was a lot of information. He's going to kind of briefly share what he just learned about it with everybody, and I don't feel like role playing that at the 5
you're
minutes
good.
before the end of our session, and just be like, Redval, do you mind if I hold on to it, or do you want it back now that we know what it does?
Please, I think you would be better make use of it.
All right, well, I appreciate it. All right, I was adding it to my inventory while we were doing this.
Nice.
Nice.
Raz is gonna stay close to Kaida since she's like creeping towards the door. Because I know she's got like a bunch of big weapons, but she doesn't have like a shield. So, but he's gonna look back at Iris and get all proper and be like, Madam Iris, do you mind if I have one of your berries?
Oh, certainly. Here you are. And she'll pop open the fanny pack and she'll toss you a berry.
I love that this is like Iris having Werther's originals.
Yeah.
I'm still damaged from before and I haven't healed up yet, so I feel like I'd need to eat that and get whatever health out of that I can.
Yeah, you get 1 HP
All
from
right.
the berry.
It's better than none.
Yeah. Iris has just been crocheting, and once Beryl is done, she kind of dad sighs as she stands up. She's like, "All right, do we have a plan of attack for this, or of friendship?" I don't think it would be that.
Do we
I
have
mean-
a stealthy person in our group, or is it all?
I believe it's Iris.
I can. Let me just. I've got a bit of a knack for it. What are we thinking?
Well, instead of just stomping in there, hearing that there might be a fight going on, maybe you could
Rude.
inspect the space, and then we can decide if we need to go in and with action.
We could always send in either Kepri or Garnet as well.
I do like that better.
I can send in Kepri if you like.
We could
I mean-
also. I found a door back the other way. There's no guarantee that it leads to the same place, but say la vie.
Can we have the Capri do a check while others go and check the other door, like at the same time?
Yeah.
Can that be a simultaneous action?
If you want to, yeah.
I will. I mean, first of all, I'm going to voice a concern.
Go for
There's
it.
only so stealthy you can be opening a door into a room. If they're looking at the door, they'll see it open. I'm gonna use my other use of what are they? It's stone cunning, but tremor
Yeah,
sense.
tremor sense.
And see if I only got a brief flash when we came down here, so I'm gonna
Boop, boop, boop,
activate
boop.
my second use of that and get a sense of if there's anything beyond that other, what I can sense beyond this door, what I can sense. I think I said it lasts for 10 minutes last time, so I'm gonna go right. I'll go right up to this door this time.
Okay.
Sorry to
All right.
move while you're doing the thing.
It's fine.
I'll go over to the other door in the room with the cages
yeah.
and see if I sense anything.
Okay. A couple of things are all kind of happening at the same time too. As you move up, you feel this is going to be confusing. About 40 feet in front of you, the vibrations are strong. That's where the hum is coming from. It is the large monster you sensed before, the large creature, whatever it is. It's something right there, about 40 feet in front of you. About 50 feet in front of you are two. I'm not sure how. Does Tremor Sense notice if things are moving, if they're not moving? How does it work again?
It does specifically call out you can sense movement. It's essentially like the graboids from Tremors. Like if something's moving on the stone surface, I sense that.
You sense
Like a
then
sandworm.
at 50 feet just north and barely east of you, there is movement, and then the movement stops as you hear a loud like shifting about 50 feet and a little bit more east of you. You feel something move and then stop. And similarly, that same other position stopped. The thing on the right is larger. And it like shifts up and stops. You feel about 55 feet in front of you, a humanoid-sized person is pacing. And I'm just going to give you this because I think it makes sense at this point. It sounds like that's likely where the chanting is coming from. And the chanting has now picked up pace again, much faster.
Yeah.
And then at 55 feet, something is moving, but laying down on something stone.
Fascinating. All right, yeah. He communicates everything that he's learning via this sense to the group. Do with that information what you will. And Iris, do you want me to check the other door too?
Can you check it from here though? Are you close enough to check that space from here?
I mean, yeah. Am I sensing anything from the space beyond the door in the room with the cages?
No movement, no.
Okay. Can I with the tremor sense, can I at least get a sense of if I am sensing that space there, or is
I'm
it
fine
out of my reach?
Hang on, let me get that ruler again. Boop boop. You feel what feels like a hallway. Yeah, there's a hallway that leads up from that space and connects to the back side of
So it might
of this space.
Okay. Yeah. It's possible we could go in a back way into the room ahead.
Or we could
So we should
attack
go
from
in the
two
back door?
sides.
That's also true. It's the most planning we've had.
So the agreement is we go in through the back door.
It's been a while since I've heard that.
Since college, or a bit more recently than that,
When did Henry pass? It was.
Oh my god.
So sorry.
Don't be. I'm happy with it.
You
Well,
were great strategists.
we could split up and attack from both doors. Beryl could go one way and leave Garnet with us, whoever's at this door, so that way we can communicate to that team when we're ready to go, and we can decide who goes to which door, or we can all just pick a door and go through that together.
I think dividing and conquering is probably a good idea. Two-pronged
Let's
attack.
do it.
Yes.
All right, but I'll tell you what, Garnet's not going to want to be separated from me like that. Where I go, he goes.
Okay.
Understandable.
We'll have to figure out how to communicate.
Well,
the-
if you
the
like, I
attack.
can send Kepri with you.
How about this? Beryl has the tremor sense. So if he can sense that door from here, then he can sense us from that other door. So
true.
if we give enough time, we could just do a stomp on the ground to indicate when we're going to go, and he'll know when to attack too.
Aye, as long as we do it within about 9 more minutes. When you go, I'll go.
All right. Well, let's rush over there.
Right.
I'll give
Skedaddle.
y'all 30 seconds, or I'll give y'all a minute, and then we'll expect y'all to be there.
Right, we should balance this split.
Yes.
I think Raz and Redwald, you should probably split up. I know you're good buds, but you each bring something similar to the battle. It'd
I
be good to
agree.
have on each side.
Is it crankiness? Is it crankiness that they both bring to the battle?
Oh, it's their white hair, darling. I've got the same.
Oh, good point.
I thought it
And
was,
obviously,
our
you know,
charming good
Beryl
luck.
and I should split up. One magic user in either party. Probably good idea.
Yes. Kaida,
Excellent.
do you have a preference? We seem to be the tiebreakers.
No, man, I'll stay here with the angry door.
All right.
The angry door.
All right. So
Cool.
we got our
Right,
3.
well, be careful, Iris. We'll see you on the other side.
Oh, are you staying? Okay. Be careful,
Wait,
Beryl.
wait, is that not? Am I going that way with you? I'm confused. Which way? am I?
Either
we
works.
need the two. Either way, Emmy and Beryl need to be separated. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll.
So I think it's Raz, Beryl, and Iris, and then Redvold, Kaida, and I.
yeah, that'll work.
Cool.
Well,
And then
Redvold's
we'll-
going with Iris, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means Raz is here with me and Kaida then. Yeah,
Okay,
got it.
cool. Then I'm going with you guys.
We'll
Right.
plan on
right, so it's the
3
three of you
minutes, I
here?
guess. We give them time to get there, and then do the stamp. And
Okay.
then we'll charge.
You should be able to click on that door and open it.
Whoa,
Whoa,
my bad boy.
Obviously not us.
We're gonna be checking, making sure nothing sussy is happening in this corridor.
That's more your
Yes, that's
department
dark in
than
that
mine,
corridor.
Iris. Look pretty dark.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
so
true.
sad I don't get to see what's in the hallway.
I actually have no idea if it's dark or not because I can see whether or not it's dark.
Right.
Y'all tell
I've got a
y'all
bit
tell
of-
me.
I've got a
yeah,
bit
you're
of
gonna-
light for us.
You're gonna run out of light pretty. Oh no, yeah, you have produce flame on.
I
so you
got
were already
produce
in fact-
flame.
Yeah, you were. in
I mean, it
fact
has
producing.
been a bit, but it's a cantrip, so I'll
I'm
keep
assuming you're
recasting
just
it.
keeping it.
Oh,
if you
and
like,
I've-
if you like, I can send like I said, I can send Kepri with you guys because he's got the light spell at will, so he glows softly.
Precious.
Right.
I am
And
keeping an eye out for
I
traps
assume
in this corridor.
you've got produce
Okay,
flame. I
roll-
assume you guys can light torches.
Roll an
if you need.
investigation check as you go.
Investigation.
I'm just gonna say, I'm sure at some point in all this back and forth,
Oh,
I've grabbed my
a nat
spear that
20.
was wedging open the
Oh yeah, you can do that.
door.
You can get your spear.
21.
With those two investigation
Nice.
checks, you noticed there was a trap here. It was about right here, but it had already been triggered
Oh wow.
recently.
Oh.
The trap was trap.
And also with that, you notice there is also a door here.
Yeah. Does
So
this
the
feel
ch-
like? Can I tell with my tremor sense if this is the door that's going to lead into the big room?
Yeah, it definitely is. And from where you are, you're now something strange. You notice as you're moving along is that your tremor sense is
Mhm.
picking up more movement than it was.
Oh,
One,
fuck.
the large creature is no longer in the same position. It has moved down, further south. Where you only originally sensed like maybe 1 or 2 medium-sized people, depending on what was kind of going on, there's now 4, and a 5th is laying down on a table.
They're multiplying.
All right. Yeah. He's communicating that to these two at least.
Okay.
Oh. It's not comforting.
Well, we've only got a moment here before they give us the signal. Anything you need to do to prepare, do it now.
Yeah. Recast Shillelagh and produce flame. Just make sure those are up to stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got my spear back out instead of my longsword, by the way. Shield and spear.
Is the scepter sort of a one-handed thing or a two-handed?
It's one-handed. It's only about 3 feet
Okay.
long, so it's like a
All right.
stick, basically.
Cool. I got that. I
Shillelagh.
got that in one hand and my other hand free.
Okay.
When do we open the door?
I'll tell you when Raz gives me the signal.
All right, is
I
everybody
assume we
ready?
open the door next session.
I'm waiting for
I was
Ethan to
debating.
call
Well, I
it.
think we're
I'm
gonna
No, I want you
each
guys to
open
open
the
it, and then
door.
I'll give.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can open it first.
So if everybody's ready,
just wanna
I'll
know-
do the
yeah.
stomp.
Everyone's waiting
Can
with
we get like
anticipation.
into crouch
Patient.
stealth position now?
Yeah. Let me ask
Yeah.
you, Roz. Are you opening the door as
Okay.
you stomp? Or are you opening it before or after you stomp? I'm trying to figure out like who's
So
gonna
this,
open first.
so the way it would work is I'm going to stomp, so that way he can sense the stomp, and then I'm going to open the door.
Okay.
So it would be boom, boom, and then open.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the southern party, Raziel's party, open their door 1st, and I'm gonna tell you what you see, and then I'm gonna have the party to the left open. As the
Whoa.
door opens, you see crawling out of what appears to be a large. So in front of you is a large, same checkered floor, but you see two large statues down here, one on this side, one on the other. As you look in this direction, you see this one is pulling its weapon slowly back up into like a locked position. And directly in front of you is what appears to be a large creature covered in mushrooms. And as soon as you open the door, you hear it go, that large thumbing noise, you hear it go as it looks directly at you. Will the rest of you open the door on your end?
Beryl sort of taps Redfold on the shoulder. That's the signal.
As the door opens, there is what appears to be a man laying on this table that looks like a mushroom man. There are three similarly sized looking, kind of creepier looking mushroom men here that are standing above the opened
They're-
carcasses of
They're the
three
Slender Man of mushroom people.
Goliaths.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Oh,
Mhm.
You can
Yeah.
see the chest of these Goliaths open, and there are these mushrooms standing out of them. And as your door opens, this man here, who is covered in bandages and has just finished saying his incantation, looks in your direction, and you hear him say, "Oh, good. More sacrifices. Welcome. I can't wait for you to meet my friends." And you watch as all three of these mushrooms turn to face you.
Not today, mummy.
I look at Kaida and I kind of get this like mischievous twinkle in my eye and I'm like, how hungry are you?
It is a fun upgrade to the trial. I should have brought extra seasoning for this one.
And that is where we will pick up next time on Punch and Roll for Initiative.
Woo!
oh
I just want to say,
man.
Iris was
sorry.
fighting back the urge to just reach and close the door.
You can if you
I had
want
the
to.
exact same thought. I was like, so we're just gonna leave now, right? Yeah. Goodbye.
Well, see you later.
Just close it. Wrong door.
Oh, sorry,
Didn't
this
we-
is the
Not where I
southern
parked my
sacrifice
car.
room. I'm meant to find the east sacrifice room. Oh, this is the wrong one.
The wrong one.
Egg on
should
my
mark
face.
these doors
Uh-oh. Yeah. I'm so sorry you didn't get to punch anything today, Kaida.
You know, there's always next time.
Yeah.
I really wanted to try to take those chains down, but no, somebody's got to have thieves.
I wanted you to
It was
Sorry.
actually so
Those
smart.
chains.
I loved it so much.
You didn't get to punch
Yeah,
a
'cause-
statue. You didn't get to kill anything. It's a bummer.
Could
All
keep
I still
going.
have is my threat to punch Bast at some point. So like I've still got that going for me, and that's all I got.
Yeah.
I got close to killing something.
Just yourself.
Besides myself.
Okay.
Beryl, for just your for your gratification, because you were able to feel a lot of this stuff that was going on, just for fun for me, the this if you're still on the thing and can see it, I've closed it
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the thing. This Goliath here appears to have been the one that was moving earlier, and you can see blood like dripping off this statue's spear.
Ooh.
And so it seems like maybe he was alive when you guys first got here, and now he is not.
Yeah. Good thing I identified the scepter for 10 minutes, though. That's a much better
Hey,
use
I
of my
think it'll
time than
help.
saving his life. Yeah. Well, it might help, it might hinder, but we're going to see. I'm going to cast that bad boy next session.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens in this
Staff of
room.
Shigarath.
The worst part though is that you're right under a statue.
Yeah, I know. I did not like when he was describing statues and he pinged right on the other side of our door.
Just close the door.
And I wasn't
technically
paying attention to where the door
three, but
was
this one's
until it
broken.
opened, and I saw Redvold, and I'm like, "Oh crap!" All right.
I kept thinking
Oh,
like,
man.
oh man, they're gonna cut this off and like this, it's gonna have to. And I was like, oh no, they're taking their sweet time. Thank you.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
I appreciate you.
We were
Yeah.
born to dilly and dally.
We were.
No, I think it's more the fact that we are natural storytellers and we're like, the best place to cut this is for the cliffhanger.
Yes, very intentional.
True. I was definitely like at about 7:45. I was like, I don't want to open that door and start combat now, just to have to
Yeah.
stop after a round.
Yeah, fair.
Oh man.
And we will, I mean, like, get to pick some of this stuff up and kind of find out what's going on here too soon, which I think will be fun. But there was something I was going to tell you about this that I thought was that you would enjoy, but now I've lost it. It's gone out of my brain.
Oh,
Is it a giant toilet in the middle of the room there?
It's a big hole
believe it's
full of
called a
blood
cistern.
currently.
Is that a
Ah,
shaft?
okay.
Yeah.
does it look
God,
deep?
it's full of blood.
Yeah. You can see the you see this little mushroom guy up here, this like trough that he's in. Oh,
Mm.
has some kind of
Mhm.
like
Oh,
black
I see
ichor
it
mixed with blood, and it seems to be flowing down into this pit, and that's what
Mm.
this big guy's crawling out of right now.
God. I
Wait,
love
he's
that.
crawling out of it. He's not
Uh-huh.
like walking around it.
These are not
Oh.
hup hup
he-
mushroom people.
He's literally grabbing onto it. Like as you guys open the door, he's got
Got
his
it.
arm up on the side of the pit, and he's pulling himself out of it, out of this like.
Okay.
Raz is
liquid in
going
the
to
middle
run
of it.
straight up and just drop kick him right in the face.
Well,
Not
I've got my-
today!
I've got my spear, so that's why I like my spear being my first weapon, is because it can be a ranged weapon too.
Dear God.
Punt him like a football. Just
That's
for
seriously
it.
why I was like, when I read what you could do with the spear, I was like, holy crap, that's perfect, because I've already got like short sword or long sword proficiency too. I'm like, this is great. I got reach with the spear, or I can throw it, and then I've still got a long sword. I'm like, this is a good setup. I like this.
Scarlet is.
It's
supposed
come in
to be,
handy now too.
Scarlet's supposed to have a French accent, and so, but I have to like keyword myself into it, and I kept forgetting to, and so like she sounded like half Irish, half just like standard whatever. I was like, you know what? She's just gonna have just a
The
normal
fantasy
voice.
language. Or-
Yeah, I'm not
It's
gonna.
okay. It's
I'm not
okay.
gonna French
It's
accent
okay.
this girl.
I figure by the end of this campaign, Iris McGugan will have infected us all.
I mean, the Harpy girl is supposed to sound kind of vaguely Irish, and Scarlet her name was. I was gonna call her Scarlett. Her name was Scarlett, and she's very happy to meet you. And then she was gonna be like very French-y, but then I was like, this is too hard to do while she's crying, so never mind. She
Yeah.
just has a normal accent.
Fair.
Oui, I'm very sad. Like, how do you do a cry?
Oui.
Non.
Le bou.
C'est triste.
Le boohoo!
Pepe Le Pew, no. Cancelled.
I have to admit, there was a certain joy at the deep resonance of Aaron's voice as he's like, don't
Oh
threaten
my
my
God.
friend.
It was
That
so
was
good.
Such a good moment.
I simp for
Yes.
Redvold now.
Yeah,
Dude.
I love that.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to when all this is done, all of us sat around a campfire resting. You know, we as a group could easily spend 6 or 7 sessions just sat around a campfire
Yeah.
talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, that's
I just love that Redvold is dad energy.
yeah.
Clearly dad energy. Iris is definitely the cool grandma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Kaida's kind of like the middle child, where she's like,
Okay.
she's got that energy of like, let's go, I don't care, let's do it, I'm whatever,
Oh,
I
see,
do my own
I saw
thing.
her as like,
And it was
I
so
And
thought
also
she was
good.
a
always
cool
hungry, which
cousin.
middle child's always
Yeah.
there.
she's like the cool cousin, whereas, you know, but that means that Raz, Kaida, and Emmy are kind of in the middle of the dynamic of Raz is the overbearing older brother who kind of runs off and does dumb things.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
but
Kaida's
still
the middle
comes back
child who
around to
just
be bossy.
kills.
Yeah. yeah.
I kind of so picture it as like of our 3 I guess there's 4 marshals, but of our like tanky marshals, I kind of think of Redvold as the older brother who's like watching over them. Yeah. Raziel's like the Kaida is kind of the middle one who's like, I know how to solve your problems. Taco Bell and weed. Like, let's just figure this out.
Yeah.
And then
Meanwhile, Emmy's looking at Raz, hands on hips. I'm gonna tell Mum on you
Yeah,
because
and
you
I
and
do
me.
feel like Raziel's like the younger, like he can get away with pretty much whatever he wants. The older sibling is always protecting him. He can talk shit, and everybody's like, "Hey, maybe don't do that next time." But instead of like, I love that about him. It's very. I have 3 kids, so the dynamic feels very alive for me.
That's so funny.
It's great. I love it so much.
And then, of course, we have the most fabulous dynamic of Garnet and Kepri.
It's my favorite.
Yes.
As soon as you said you wanted a cat, I was like, the fucking cat's gonna glow like those little desk lamps that you poke. It's just too good.
Just whenever I'm standing next to Beryl, he pushes Garnet off, like taps Garnet off his shoulder, like. Tsh.
Oh, I already have an idea for what one of the next interactions is going to look like.
Oh, also, this is what I was going to say earlier. Don't forget, you will be looking at your subclasses if you don't know what you want to pick yet, because after this next session, there's no way, surely, you're not level 3.
Well, there's I was gonna say there's one way we don't make it to level 3.
Yeah,
don't know how.
we could get Detta.
Oh, if you die.
we do
Oh, if you die.
As
No.
Emmy
We
said,
die. Yeah.
as Emmy said, yeah, we get Detta.
Yeah, if you die, then sure, you're not going to be level 3. But if you don't die,
Shortest campaign ever.
We have the bell, we would just have to swallow our pride and use it. Which, that's the
Yeah, but
hard
Raz is
part.
holding it, so that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
If I
youngest.
punch
I
Raz and
decided
ring
that
the
was a
bell.
good idea.
Hey,
I will say, those of you who've listened to the podcast version, the end like immersive audio, somebody has rung their bell. One of the bells has been rung if you haven't listened to the end of those episodes. So there may already be help on the way. You don't know.
Dun, dun,
Also, I
dun.
just want to state for the record, I did have Chestburster written down. As soon as I heard about that scar,
Oh,
I
yeah.
went, mm-mm. And there's going to be a mushroom person up top.
I love note descriptions because as soon as I saw these as he said, these mushroom guys standing out of the corpses, I'm like, they kind of look, and so in my notes they're mushroom Slenderman.
I like it.
They are slim, like look at the hips.
They are very,
I
they're
mean,
very
they've got-
Slenderman
they've-
looking. They're very.
They've got some chunky thighs going on though.
They're so
Yeah.
thick.
It's very hard these
it's not
days.
thighs.
To find.
It's nice wide hips. That's what it is.
Birthing hips.
Mushroom bearing hips.
Yeah, mushroom bearing hips.
It's very hard these days to find non-AI, like open license stuff that I can put on here because
Yeah.
it's gotten so everything is AI and it's hard to tell sometimes. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
And things with Pinterest as well. It's
everything on Pinterest is AI. Every single thing. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Mm.
I will say, just because I want to give this to you guys, these 3 are definitely like bursting out of these corpses. This one down here is not. It does not look like it came
No,
out of
he's-
any kind of corpse.
yeah. He's crawling out of the pool of blood. Either
This
Raz
sounds
is
like
going
a
to punt
fireman.
him, or Kaida's going to run up and just bite his face
I
off.
was gonna say she's just gonna start eating him.
It reminds me, I got to save the stats for this guy. In my
Yeah,
notes.
we all know it. Kaida's definitely a biter. She is a scrappy fighter, and she bites. Has to.
Are we still streaming, by the way?